Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce our first keynote speaker for this morning. He is an IT professional with over 22 years of experience in tech consulting and sales for Fortune 500 companies, including 18 years at Microsoft. He's also a visionary in blockchain, crypto, and Web3 with 7 years of research and experience. He also founded BlockReady to fast-track education in this space and avoid early adopter mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome to the stage our first keynote speaker, Mr. Vas Modinos.
Hello everyone, good morning, how are you? It's great to be here. Okay, so I think you summarized my profile perfectly there. So, I'm here this morning to talk to you a little bit about education and how important education is for this industry. A little bit about myself. As you said, Omar, I've been around in IT for almost 25 years. The last 18 years I was at Microsoft. I did a lot of different roles at Microsoft. Started with the technical roles. I was an engineer, a consultant, architect, then I jumped into sales. But I've always been interested in innovative technology. And I got really fascinated with, obviously, blockchain and crypto when it started 7, 8 years ago. So, as an early adopter, I made a lot of mistakes. And the reason why I founded this company, BlockReady, is to make sure I help individuals and also companies to avoid the mistakes I made and fast-track their understanding of the industry. So let's jump onto the first slide. I would like to understand a little bit about why this is so revolutionary, okay? Everyone is talking about blockchain and cryptocurrency. We've never seen a technology that disrupts the whole world as big as this. The only last time we had it was 30 years ago with the internet, okay? This is a disruptive technology that will change the way our lives are. We are in a moment of life that we're probably not going to see again. Blockchain and cryptocurrency changes the way we transact online, the same way the internet changed the way we communicate online. It's a technology that is here to stay. It's constantly evolving and it's constantly growing. In fact, the user adoption in this industry is actually at 100% year over year. The only other technology that had that kind of immense adoption rates was the internet 30 years ago, late 90s, beginning of the 2000s, where the internet user adoption was around 80%. So even if the cryptocurrency user adoption rate slows down in the next few years, we're still looking at about 1 billion users worldwide by 2024 to actually have somehow been connected with blockchain and cryptocurrency or interacted with it in some kind of form. And by 2028, we're expecting 2 billion people, 1 in 4 worldwide, to actually have some kind of interaction. So it's huge, of course. But there is also the adoption barriers, right? For every innovative technology, any niche technology, there's always going to be some barrier to adoption. And of course, we all know about the barriers to adoption related to regulation, volatility, financial market structure, market manipulation. But the most important barrier to adoption for this industry is actually education. I mean, it's not just an education problem for the industry, but it's a challenge for an individual basis. I mean, how do you start learning about a technology which is always evolving, constantly new things happening? It's a challenge, right? And that's what happened to me when I started trying to learn, right? I mean, I looked at the internet to try to get some kind of sense about blockchain and crypto, and I was overwhelmed. I mean, you're putting a lot of effort into learning, but you're getting little return of your effort. I find myself, just probably like many of us, sorting through hundreds of unreliable sources, right? trying to make sense of that industry. But most of the sources was out of date, not well researched. Some people are misinforming us to try to benefit from a newbie like myself. And sometimes you try to follow people who you believe and trust, but they actually end up being false promises. Yeah. So, as a newcomer, you start with a few questions, right? What is blockchain? What is cryptocurrency? What is Bitcoin? What's the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum? But as you grow and you start learning more, you get more and more questions. So I put a slide together just to resonate a few of the things that everyone is asking. Tell me if these are questions that you have yourself. Is Bitcoin anonymous? Why does Bitcoin has value? Is crypto a bubble? How do I trade safely? These are common things that I see people asking over and over again. How do I select the right wallet? What's altcoins? Why are NFTs so expensive? Okay, and hundreds more. There's literally hundreds more of questions that people need to understand in order to fast track and make informed decisions. And I mean what I say, hundreds and hundreds of questions. Now, of course, there's learning material out there on the internet. Some of them are well-researched, some of them are from a trusted source, but they're not always structured in the way that a beginner, a newcomer, would be able to understand it. There's no learning journey. You don't start from A and finish at Z. You get to consume all these articles, all these videos online that they give you a lot of information about a specific subject. But then you get sort of distracted by jumping into one subject and then to another, and you start losing that kind of coherent understanding of the industry. So a little bit about my crypto journey. I made pretty much every single mistake there is to make. I started with no strategy. I had no portfolio investment strategy, no exit strategy. I didn't do my own research. I typically did what most people do, which is follow the research of someone else. I FOMO'd into trades, right? The fear of missing out. Everyone has experienced it. So it's like, okay, this is big. I need to jump into it without really understanding what I'm doing. I fell victim of hype and misinformation. I got greedy. I thought, this is it. It's going to go up, and we're all going to be rich. And I also became unaware of issues that I should be careful of, such as security, best practices, how to protect myself from scams. So this is typically what happens with most of us, yeah? But it's not about investment only. It's about understanding the industry as a whole. So this is how not to learn, right? If you go to Reddit, I went to Reddit and I became obsessed with this XRP army, thinking that XRP would change the world. I got really sidetracked, but really understanding the industry. YouTube is a good source, but 80% are out of date, not well researched, or potentially they're paid promotions. Udemy is one way of learning, but then the course creators typically create courses that sell well. They don't cover the industry as a whole. They just try to kind of tap into the subjects that most people would like to buy on. Medium is another good social platform as long as you're following the no-bias authors. And Twitter, as we all know it, is the mother of social media for crypto, but it's chaotic. And you can spend hours, days, months on Twitter and still not have a good understanding. So, these are the challenges. What if there was a better way to learn about this industry? Now think about this. What if we let technology do the hard work for us? We don't have to start in the typical learning journey that we're all in. Let's start with using technology to teach us and guide us through our learning journey. And this is what we did at BlockReady. We used artificial intelligence to actually tackle pretty much everything we wanted to put in our learning materials. We used AI for research, for content creation, for creating the structure of our courses. We used AI for quality control and keeping our courses always up to date. And we used AI also for assessment. So how did we do it? We did a lot of research. We spent a lot of time trying to understand which AI technology can give us that edge. Because the mission is to help people. And to help people, we need to help ourselves always deliver the best quality learning materials. So we started with the research. Now, the first question we had at BlockReady was, what do people need to learn? What's the most important topics that people need to learn? And we used something called Answer the Public. I don't know if you've seen that before. Answer the Public is a platform that is amazing. You can go to the website, you can enter any term, whether it's blockchain, mining, cryptocurrency, and it will tell you what people ask about this term worldwide. And it spans out all the different questions that people have. We also use Google. Google does the same in a slightly different way. When you go to Google and you search, after you get the first search results, you're also going to get something, a section that says what people also ask. And there you get other questions similar to the term that you actually searched. So basically, we took these two technologies and we collected a huge amount of topics and questions related to these topics that we then started categorizing and putting together according to difficulty levels and according to topic. And then we use Notably, which is another AI platform, to actually start making sense of our research. Because apart from trying to collect the most important topics and the most important questions that we want to answer in our course, we also had other things that we need to do. For example, understand user feedback as far as our UI and UX on how they would like to learn, right? Would you like to learn in this format or that format? And there was a lot of feedback from customers, a lot of feedback from initial beta users, and we used Notably to organize and manage the results of this research. Then we went and thought, okay, quality control. How are we going to make sure that whatever we actually generate is going to be always up to date and always correct, in any sense correct. Correct factually, correct also in a syntactically and grammatically fashion. So we use two engines. Most people have heard of Grammarly. Grammarly is an amazing AI, more like a language, intelligence language platform that allows you to really correct your grammar, your English, make sure that you don't have long sentences, make sure that you don't describe something in a way that doesn't enhance the learning experience. And we usually also use something called originality.ai to make sure that everything that we generate, whether it's from our own team or from AI, actually is factually correct and also has that originality. Yeah? Then how did we do it? How did we actually create this course? Of course, you must have heard of ChatGPT, but I don't know if you know that ChatGPT is just a version of an existing AI language model from OpenAI, which has been around for 2 years. ChatGPT was widely adopted only because of the UI, UX, being really connecting with people. But the actual backend engine has already existed for 2 years. So we used OpenAI technology to actually answer all the questions we got from the research stage. And we then categorized them, went through quality control, and ended up with the course that we are presenting today. Then finally, we thought, okay, what about assessment? What about some knowledge checks? How are we going to make sure that people test their knowledge, what they got out of this course? So then we use a couple of other AI platforms where these platforms are really clever. You can feed them the course content, and then you can also highlight the specific terms that you think are important in this text. And then once you highlight those specific terms, they will process the content and come up with questions like a quiz or potentially also like an exam where you can actually take and then plug it into your course. And these questions, of course, are based on the content you provided to the AI platform. So the result, what is the result? We ended up having a huge amount of content. And because of the well-researched and well sort of streamlined process we actually followed when we created this course, we tried to make this a course that allows you to learn in a very small, bite-sized information, but at the same time, learn with different formats. And this is the formats we came up with. The first one is our FAQ format. We collected and categorized 500 of the most popular questions people ask about this industry worldwide, across 13 different modules. So these are very short, very well-researched answers to these questions across these modules. Then we started collecting what we call must-know facts, or otherwise mega facts. These are things that have happened, news that are really moving the needle of the industry. They're really pushing that industry to mainstream adoption. For example, El Salvador, the country, adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. This is a must-know fact. These are the facts that everyone, regardless whether it's an individual or a company, must know in order to understand how impactful this industry is and will be in the future. Then we moved on to something else, the exact opposite of the must-know facts. We moved into the mythbusters, or otherwise known as misconceptions. These are the ones that people think they're actually correct, but they're actually not, such as government can shut down Bitcoin, or blockchain is the same as a database. So these are the things that we try to tackle to make sure that people understand that actually, you know, what I had in my mind about this is not actually correct. Then we thought, wouldn't it be nice to have also a collection of useful resources? The type of resources you always come across online when you're going and doing your learning, such as mining tools, calculators, useful websites about DeFi, and many, many other things that potentially could be of use. So we collected all these bookmarks for you to be able to search through and save yourself time. Then we thought, okay, what other learning format can we offer for someone who's just starting? So we thought about something called nano tips. These are not FAQs, they're not facts, they're not misconceptions, they're not resources. What they are is small snippets of advice. These are 1 or 2 sentences that gives you enough knowledge to understand what mistakes you should not make. For example, don't take your wallet public address and put it next to your name on social media. It's obvious that as soon as you do that, everyone will associate your identity to your public wallet address. So we collected 120 of those tips. Then, of course, we thought we should have some kind of glossary where we can tackle some of the lingo, right, that the industry has. And we even collected additional things that we thought may be useful. One of them is events and conferences, just like this one, worldwide, where you will be able to sort through what's happening across the industry for anything to do with events, conferences, meetups, and quickly be able to sign up, whether it's physically attend or potentially attend online, so you can be part of that community. We then thought, okay, companies, specifically enterprises, they would like to have access to these industry reports. So we've done our work there as well. And you have a collection now in this course of more than 50 industry reports from big names, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, Bloomberg, and many other companies that actually release industry reports that have to do with the industry, whether it's decentralized finance, metaverse, gaming, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and so on. And finally, we collected links to all the most important white papers for anyone who'd like to accelerate the way they do their research when it comes down to a specific cryptocurrency project. So it's a lot of work. It took us more than a year to get to where we are now. We're not there yet. We are not releasing a product until 2 or 3 weeks from now, but we thought we'll just come here and present the work we've done. The other thing we did is we really wanted to make sure that we approach this in a different way. Fine, we used AI. We thought we did a really good job trying to get that content and that course created, but we also wanted to make sure that people understand that the way to learn is just as important as it is the course content. So we adopted the micro-learning approach. We ensure that you can jump into this material, you can select the topic, you can select the learning format you'd like to learn with, and you can learn this kind of small, like, bite size of information. Even if you have 45 minutes in a day, you want to jump in, we made sure that you can listen to the course or you can actually read it, and we thought this is the only way for people to actually find value. We don't want you to start going through everything. We want you to be able to spend half an hour, get the value on the specific subjects that you're interested in, and then come out again because we know that you won't be able to really allocate all these hours on a day to go through the entire course. We made sure the course is certified, so we went to a big renowned certification service, the British Continuing Professional Development Certification Service based out of the UK, and we got that course certified. And also, we wanted to make sure that when we do launch this course, it does provide the A to Z guide. See this specific course as the foundational knowledge you require to make any informed decision. We've covered pretty much every topic, from blockchain to crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrency as a general, altcoins, trading, investment, mining, decentralized and centralized finance, NFTs, and legal, and the regulation part of it. And we are actually now even thinking about building more around the metaverse and a few other things like gaming, but we're not there yet. So what our mission is to give that foundational knowledge for people to really make an informed decision. And this is not about investment only. This is not about trading. This is about understanding the industry as a whole. You could be an NFT artist, or you could be an artist that would like to take advantage of the NFT market. You could be a graduate or a student who'd like to understand the career opportunities in this industry. Or you could be someone who is a businessman or a business owner and would like to understand how you can actually tap into these opportunities that are ahead of us in this industry. So regardless of where and who you are, you need to understand the industry end to end. So then you can make the decision, you know what, yes, as far as career, I would like to become a blockchain developer, or I would like to become a decentralized finance consultant. Or as an artist, you understand what you should do to be able to make your work as an NFT and what you should be careful when you try to sell your NFTs. And the last thing we wanted to make sure is that we made it accessible and affordable. This is not about going to business and becoming rich. Our mission is more about the educational side, right? Yes, we're a business. Yes, we're a company. Of course, we would like to be successful and continue building on our courses, but we wanted to make this education available to the people who need it the most. And these are the people who potentially working double shift. The people who are potentially not financially so well off where they can afford a lot of expensive courses, or they don't have the time to go and spend hours and hours every day trying to understand. So we made it affordable, we made it accessible, and we want to make sure that everyone who really would like to understand this technology and get that fast track knowledge, it's something that they can leverage here. So what you will learn, as I said, this is a complete end-to-end introduction to this industry. It's about blockchain, it's about cryptocurrencies, it's about the terminology, it's about the Web3 revolution, it is about building your skills when it comes down to investment and trading, it's about how to protect yourselves when you go there online, how to manage your digital wallets, your passwords, the security side of things, understanding the risks, the opportunities, and also the NFTs, and also everything else that potentially you had in your mind and you either were too busy to find the answer or because you haven't really thought about this question yet. So we now have those questions answered for you. You can quickly log in, find out. Perhaps some of the questions you know the answers already, but some others I can guarantee you won't. So this is where we are today. I thought maybe we can do some Q&A if you like, but I would like to thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, by all means.
Yes. Can we get the microphone, please? Yeah. Microphone? Do we have any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Hi, thank you for the presentation. My question is, if you considered any format like audio compatible with AI assistant, I would be interested.
Sorry, as in?
Like, okay, it's an audio format of study when you can question AI assistant, like, what is this, what is that? And then the information comes, and this is information not from Google, where different opinions and different things could be.
Yes, so at the back end, this is what we did. We used OpenAI. They have multiple engines, language models, not just the ChatGPT that became widely known recently. We used that OpenAI technology to ask questions and get answers. The next step, after we go live, after we have our course completed, is to create an engine that is trained on this industry so that we can feed it as much information, not only from our course, but everything that is available. But we need to make sure that it's from a trusted resource. We can't feed it anything, because then obviously it's going to give you the wrong answers. So the way we think about it and we visualize it is that you'll be able to get to blockready.com and have access not just to our course material, but to an AI-generated chatbot that you can ask any question you'd like and get factual, specific, well-researched answers. Hopefully that answers your question.
We can take one more question. We have the gentleman here in the front.
Hello. Hi, my name is Leon, and so you gave us your success story, but what I'm really curious about is, what was your biggest challenge building BlockReady, and how did you overcome this?
That's a good question. I mean, we had multiple challenges, but the most important challenge is to decipher what we should be including and what we should be leaving out, because there is a chaotic amount of information out there. Really, like endless amount of information about the industry, and we needed to make some kind of decisions about what to put. So the biggest challenge is like to include only what we thought it was the most important, and also avoid misinforming our customers, avoiding making the mistakes that we made, going in and consuming information that didn't add value. And of course, we didn't want to take that information and plug it into our course as well. So we spent a lot of time on the research part to make sure we decipher this information. That was our biggest challenge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, warm round of applause for Mr. Vas Modinos. Thank you very much, sir, for all the insight and the wonderful information.